Hello, everybody. Welcome to another amazing episode of News Connect. I'm Aiden.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin.
Hi, I'm Joshua.
I am Jeffrey.
And welcome to your Youth Connect. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another amazing episode of Youth Connect. I hope that you are excited to learn all about the awesome news that we have to share with you today. Reminder for all that need to know that Nibras unfortunately will not make it this episode. So just warning in advance in case people are wondering, where in the world is Nibras? Anyways, though, for anyone who doesn't know what in the world is Youth Connect, Youth Connect is a news, interest, entertainment show that was created during the pandemic for the community, by the community. Everybody here is advocates for change and really want to get into the works of becoming broadcasters, want to become more music creators, maybe even become famous people, professional makers of awesome and creative things. But it's going to be a show that I know that you are going to absolutely love. And obviously, starting off Youth Connect, we always have to bring off with myself and some gaming news. All right, guys, just like last week, I'm going to keep following the same pattern of using my classic kind of brand new section to my gaming news, which is been given to me by a good friend, and I'm going to be bringing you again another weird and obscure game of the week. And what in the world are we going to be talking about? Well, it's called What the Car? Well, sadly for me, I won't be able to check out this game, but starting, because remember, with these types of games, it depends on how much time it takes and how popular it is. But for anybody who has an iOS and Apple Arcade, I recommend checking out What the Car. What is What the Car? It's not your typical racing game. You're a car. What? But instead of having wheels, you have legs. You must race through hundreds of unique levels by jumping, flying with jetpacks, climbing buildings, delivering packages, and pretty much everything you would not expect a car to do. Oh my gosh. And remember, guys, it's not all about racing. You can explore the magical island to meet new friends, find hidden treasures, or try your best at the quirky puzzles. Awesome fact is that you can also make your own levels. That's right. Once you've completed all the levels and you're feeling like, oh man, I really want to create my own levels for What the Car. Well, you can. You can share them with friends and family and climb the leaderboards of quirky levels made by other players. So remember, you'll be flipping burgers, fishing, swimming, and even singing karaoke. Now, just so you know, guys, this was given to me by a hint by the game. They say, don't talk to the laser cow. That's a hint by them. But if you guys want to check out a fun iOS game that is on Apple Arcade, I recommend that you check out What the Car, and hopefully we might get a PC release or maybe even a console release. But anyways, this has been your first gaming news, and next up we have Kevin with some all-important news.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Youth Connect with me, Kevin Aruja. The time is now 3:35, I would say. So for now, let's go to the headlines. The mega bus now offering hourly trips from Toronto to Montreal increased service to Pearson Airport. Mulling the Eastern Gardener and 7 years of shuttle buses in Scarborough. The West Toronto tenants frustrated after being without power, heat, or hot water for more than 2 days. And Panthers beats Leafs with a score of 3-2 in Game 2. Megabus, the popular discount bus company, is increasing its service ahead of a summer tourist season. Effective today, Megabus will offer daytime hourly trips from Toronto to Kingston and Montreal, which works out to 16 daily departures. In addition, all services coming from Montreal and Kingston towards Toronto will continue to Pearson International Airport. Sorry about that. After stopping downtown and Union Station. According to the company's online booking platforms, most trips between Toronto and Montreal will cost between $50 and $70 each way, while most trips between Toronto and Kingston cost between $14 and $15 each way. Many bus companies are struggling to stay afloat, most notably Greyhound, which ceased Canadian operations in the spring of 2021. The bus carriers had struggled for years with declining ridership, increasing competition, and deregulation. The company's decision to shut down was a major blow to many rural and remote areas that have been serviced by Greyhound for years, while Megabus and others stuck mainly to larger urban centers. It was a tough day to be heard on the campaign trail on Toronto's mayoral race, literally braving the rain to make a flurry of announcements. The candidates took to the busy streets and transit stations of the city, but found themselves talking over the transport trucks and protesting federal workers. It's also getting harder to be heard because of the sheer number of candidates. There are now a record 68 candidates running for mayor of Toronto. Taking a nearby federal workers' protest and stride, Cho intermittently danced along to the chants as she announced improving transit in Scarborough outside Scarborough Centre Station. Amongst other things, Hunter said she would hire a chief mental health officer for the city, boost funding for company partnerships, and create a long-term mental health and addiction strategy. In other news, it seems unlikely that the city will see all candidates gather now in one place before voters head to the polls. That's because there are now a record of 68 candidates running for mayor of Toronto. That was the most since 2014 race, which brought John Tory to power, and a record since amalgamation. The maintenance of a West Toronto apartment complex said they wanted answers and support for the property's owner after they were left with no power, no heat, and no water for more than 2 days. On Sunday at around 7 p.m., a fire broke out affecting the electrical system of the Crossways complex at a 2350 to 2360 Dundas Street. The fire resulted in the main power source being cut throughout the property. A few backup generators were brought in, which allowed for one elevator to work in each of the two 29-story towers. Emergency lights were also activated in the hallways and stairwells. The power came back on at around midnight on Tuesday. In both cases, they said they couldn't function without power, heat, and hot water, and they were forced to go stay with friends and relatives. All the tenants who spoke to CP24.com expressed frustrations that the landlord was not providing them with enough information about what was going on, nor clear details about when the issues would be resolved. They say updates were not posted in the buildings, and instead management used an on-site PA system to disseminate news as well as some email communications. In sports news, the Toronto Maple Leafs will need to show their teeth if they hope to even their series against the Florida Panthers tonight. The offense just hasn't been there, said head coach Sheldon Keefe on the game. No, the offense hasn't been there. Head coach Sheldon Keefe said Thursday ahead of Game 2. The Leaf responded to the Panthers' 2 goals in Game 1 to tie in, before giving up 2 unanswered goals in the second and a third periods due to the TSN radio host Matt Caws described as a sloppy play. The Toronto Maple Leafs are now down with a score of 0 out of 2, and there is second round playoffs series against the Florida Panthers after losing 3 out of 2 in Game 2. Toronto had an early 2 out of 0 lead in the first period, but Florida clawed their way back on Thursday night at Scotiabank Arena to win. Now the Panthers will fly back home with a comfortable series lead. Game 3 will be on Sunday in Sunrise, Florida. In today's weather forecast, we've got sunny this afternoon. The temperature is now 11 degrees. And tomorrow we will get another sunny, and the temperature will be 18 degrees. As you may have guessed, for the racing fact of the week, I'm going to speak about very interesting fruits. Yes, you can see it in the background. It's apples. I like apples, much as you do. So what's about apples? So, the story is about this nutritious fruit. Sorry about that. offers multiple health benefits. Apples may lower your risk for cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. Research says apples may also help with weight loss while improving your gut and brain health. With over 7,000 different cultivars available worldwide, it is no surprise that apples are the most widely consumed fruit globally. From sweet red varieties like Red Delicious, Fuji, or Gala to tangy green ones like Granny Smith, my personal favorite I enjoy with was, of course, Fuji apple. This sure is an apple for everyone. They are commonly used in recipes like pies, cookies, muffins, jams, salads, oatmeal, or smoothies. They are also made a great snack on their own or wedged and smeared with nut butter. In addition to the culinary versatility, and numerous colors have flavors to choose from. Apples are exceptionally health fruit with many research-backed benefits. They are maybe three impressive health benefits of apples. Nutritious was nutritious is apples are considered nutrient dense fruits, meaning they provide a lot of nutrients per serving. The current dietary guidelines for Americans recommend 2 cups of fruit daily for the 2,000 calorie diet, emphas- emphasizing whole fruits like apples. One medium and 7 ounce of which is 200 grams apples offer the following nutrients. And the second fact was may support weight loss. So apples are high in fiber and water, two qualities that makes them filling. An interesting feeling of fullness works as a weight loss strategy as it helps manage your appetite. This, in turn, might lead you to reduce your energy intake. In one study, eating whole apples increased feelings of fullness for up to 4 hours longer than consuming equal amounts of apple puree or juice. This happens because whole apples reduce gastric emptying, the rate at which your stomach empties its contents. And a final fact for it could be good for your heart. Apples have been linked to a lower risk of heart disease. One reason may be that contains soluble fiber. This kind of fiber can help lower your blood cholesterol levels. Another reason may be they offer polyphenols. Some of these, namely the flavonoid epic, epicachin, sorry about that, may lower blood pressure. Studies have also linked intakes of flavonoids with a lower risk of strokes. So with that being so with that we become to the end of my segment. Tuning for next week's news, weathers, and interesting facts. I'm sending you back to Aiden. See you next Friday.
You know what, guys? I gotta say, first things first, Megabus price is increasing. Megabus is known for having those decent prices to travel all from Canada and the US. It travels all over the place. And hearing that price increase is scary because I know that the bus is a huge way of transportation for a lot of people. So hopefully it doesn't go too high so that people don't lose a way of transportation. And 68 candidates for the Toronto mayoral race. 68. That's a lot of people. I'm just going to say, I don't know if I would be able to choose if I lived in Toronto. Definitely would get very confused. And if you've ever heard, Kevin, the famous term, an apple away keeps the doctor away. It is a famous term because apples are so darn delicious. And did you know that there's over 7,500 different types of apples? Or I think that's what it said. An apple away keeps the doctor away. It's a saying. I don't know. I thought it was really funny. But for everyone else, so you, Jeff, and you, Joshua, what did you guys think of Kevin's news?
I find it very, very good, very delicious.
Yes, I agree. I think it might have been apple-tastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that the Leafs win in Game 3 on Sunday at Sunrise, Florida.
I can't wait to see it too.
I'm not good with sports, as I've said before, but you know what? I always say, go Leafs.
Yes, go Leafs, go.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for all of your awesome news. It's always great to learn about kind of like this mixed bag of news. Honestly, you got everything in there. But putting on to our second gaming news, if you guys know about this gaming news, you might feel a little bit scared. So, if you've heard, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is going to be releasing soon. But, scary news, there has been some leaks and was recently leaked earlier this week. And some of the players have been scrambling to try and play the Switch game ahead of its May 12th release date. While Nintendo hasn't officially acknowledged the situation, someone who used to work there has, and probably not in the way you'd expect. Some players on Reddit and Discord, Twitter user I Am a Human Dimmed Gamer posted an image of Tears of the Kingdom installed on a Switch, literally titled, and I quote, "lol." They tweeted as a finger pointing to the game's icon in the photo. It's not clear if the game was a pirated install on a hacked Switch or a physical copy purchased early from a reseller or store that broke the street date. Either way, Reggie, the former president of Nintendo of America for 13 years, ended up responding, "I don't know what you want. What I do have is a particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills that can make me a nightmare for people like you." Basically quoting the famous Liam Neeson's ex-assassin turned confused American abroad in the 2008 movie Taken. And you might be wondering, what in the world happened to I Am a Human and Dim a Gamer? Let me just say this. They vanished off of Twitter and their Switch name is no longer existing. You might think, man, Reggie is the previous or former president of a Nintendo America, but trust me, he has those tools to make you disappear off the face of the earth, and that gives me a little bit of the chills because you know what? I don't think I will ever touch my Switch and hack it like this person did. Phew. Anyways, though, next up is Joshua, and Joshua has with us some good story news and, of course, your very favorite animal news.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Connect Now for a good news story. A 13-year-old grade 7 student in Warren, Michigan is being hailed as a hero after his quick thinking averted a disaster aboard a school bus. Lewis E. Carter Middle Schooler Dylan Reeves hurried to grab the steering wheel and slam on the brakes. As the bus was veering towards oncoming traffic, this was moments after the bus driver began feeling lightheaded and lost consciousness. Bus-mounted camera footage revealed the driver losing control and Reeves jumping into action from 5 rows back in the bus before shouting to his classmates to call 911 immediately. Warren Consolidated School Superintendent Robert Noah explained the situation in a news conference and said he could not be prouder of the students' efforts. He had the wherewithal, pushed the brakes slowly, like the anticipation that the bus was full of passengers. Added Nibras, saying that it was extraordinary. It was an extraordinary act of courage and maturity. After feeling lightheaded, the driver said on the intercom she was going to pull over for a moment, but never arrived at the people area and instead began to drift into the oncoming lane. Dylan's mother, Arita Reeves, was understandably beaming with pride with her son was honored at the news conference. While her son was being honored at the news conference, to do something like this fills with my heart. Makes my heart skip a beat to even watch that video again. I can't even express the proudness of how I'm extremely proud of him. Now for another good news story. A great grandmother who is named for motorcycles was granted her birthday wish to ride on the back of a Harley Davidson, a call back to her youth while celebrating turning 90 years old. Fearless British Barbara Morris said she felt 21 years old again during her spin around town on the powerful American cruising bike. She mentioned to her family several years ago that if she made it to 90 years old, she would like to get back on a bike one last time. She was left stunned when her sons arrived recently at her nursing home with members of a local biker group. Though wearing a dress, she had no concerns about straddling the bike right there on the spot before taking a trip with 13 other riders to a pub. I just felt the years melt away, said the great grandmother of 6. It was just an incredible experience to feel the wind blowing in my face again. Her granddaughter, Chrissy Harvey, who helped organize the surprise for Barbara along with a local biker chapter of Widows' Sons, said the inspiring senior had a daredevil spirit and was fazed by anything. Barbara got her first bike, a Royal Enfield 350, when she was about 19 and used it to get around while in college. She quickly caught the bug for riding, which she then passed on the rest of her family. To ride on a powerful Harley Davidson was made all more special because she had never been on one before. When she was told she was going on the bike, she was speechless and couldn't believe it. What a picture perfect moment it was. Now turning to animal interest news. Megan Martin has seen a lot of long faces in her years as a horse trainer, and it was this history that allowed her to turn a potential sad story into a happy ending. She was just a teenager when she met the young mare Saxy, a horse that was used to be trained for racing. But after having never made a name for herself and collecting only a few $1,000s in winning, Saxy was sold on as a workhorse. Retired equine athletes in America are often sold to the Amish communities, who used them to pull plows and buggies, and it was during this activity that Saxy was involved in a collision that left her marked for slaughter. Around this time, Martin was all grown up and worked full-time at a Red Lion farm in the U.S. state of Maine. She was scrolling through Facebook and saw a mare with a brand on her neck that she recognized as one of the horses that she worked with. Her friend and owner of Red Lion, Kendra Gorman, felt as Martin did that Saxy had to come home, that they couldn't let her fall to such a tragic end, agreeing to split the cost and raise money and supplies whenever possible. The two ladies set off to Pennsylvania to bring Saxy home. Within 48 hours of reaching out, their incredibly generous community, they had enough money to supplies to ensure Saxy had a real chance of recovering from her accident. It was clear that Saxy would need the slow and carefully rehabilitation. News Center Maine needed the moment when Saxy wrapped her head around Martin upon seeing her old trainer for the first time in years. Saxy now works for Martin as one of her horses for an equine-assisted psychotherapy program for humans suffering from trauma and PTSD. This is Joshua Show reporting for UConnect. That's it for now. I'll send it back to you, Aiden.
Guys, I want to talk about the second good story news. I absolutely love that. Imagine at the age of 90, she was able to ride a Harley. That's awesome. I mean, obviously, you might think, oh, at the age of 90, there's no way you could complete your dreams. Well, you can. This old lady did, and she was able to ride the Harley. And you know what? I say you go for it. Absolutely. And your first story news is, your first good story news is awesome as well. A 13-year-old stopping a school bus, guys. Imagine, that takes a lot of guts to get to the steering wheel and get on the brakes and stop a whole bus. Honestly, amazing. What a hero. Anyways, I'm going to ask you, Kevin, and you, Jeff, what did you guys think of Joshua's news?
I like the motorcycle story. It's really like heartwarming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree. That was my favorite news. I also love the animal news as well. You know what?
too,
Have
yeah.
saving an animal is always great, but I feel like the first two news were just, I don't know, they were very heartwarming.
I agree.
Thank you so much, Joshua. We always love to have that good story news and animal news. And you know what? It's time to move on to our third gaming news. Now, what is our third gaming news? Well, it's going to be our board game of the week. What is board game of the week? It's similar to video game of the week or, for example, iOS game of the week, where I share a board game that I think that you should check out. And this week, I have a board game that's all about exploring ruins called The Lost Ruins of Arnak. On an inhabited island in uncharted seas, explorers have found traces of a great civilization. Now you will lead an expedition to explore the island, find the lost artifacts, and face fearsome guardians, all in a quest to learn the island's secrets. In Lost Ruins of Arnak, it combines deck building and worker placement in a game of exploration, resource management, and discovery. In addition to traditional deck builder effects, cards can also be used to place workers, and new workers' actions become available as players explore the strange island. Some of these actions require resources instead of workers, so building a solid resource base will be essential. You are limited to only one action per turn, so make your actions and choose your actions very carefully. What action will benefit you most? And what can you afford to do later? Assuming someone else doesn't take the turn first. It's weird, guys, because it's small and it's very random. You might not know what will be happening, but it is a game that will make you think. It's so weird to hear deck building and to hear about exploring an island that's not a video game, because exploration in a board game is always so interesting to me. But you know what? It actually sounds like a lot of fun. And you know what? You're finding the history about the lost islands of Arnak. So honestly, it sounds like a very fun board game. Again, this game is The Lost Legends of Arnak. Now, this is where I would say next up is Nibras with some entertainment and podcast news, but he is not here. So I'm bringing you an entertainment news. Will it be podcast? No, it's going to be my honest movie review. And which movie did I recently check out that I think that you guys should check out? Well, it's called Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, I'm just going to say this point blank, guys. There are going to be no spoilers while I'm telling you this, so don't worry. Anyways, what is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 all about? Well, I just want to say, if your favorite character is Rocket, I recommend watching this because you will be learning about the lore about him in this third volume of the Guardians story. The third edition, honestly, guys, was filled with tons of laughs, really weird and funny moments. And guys, if you are a little bit younger, I recommend not checking out this movie because they do swear. That's just how movies are. And I actually like Guardians of the Galaxy because if you guys know, was 1 and 2, they kind of kept a more PG rating. And obviously they still keep it like that. But you know what, guys? They're adults. So sometimes every once in a while, a swear might slip out. But I mean, it's a character that is like in his 20s. So I feel like he's allowed to say that. But obviously, if you aren't worried about swearing or things like that, or a little bit of blood, because it happens every once in a while and a little bit gory sometimes, this story is awesome. It'll make you laugh, but trust me, it will make you cry. This story is so deep. But remember, no spoilers. I won't tell you anything. I'm just going to say it's a fun movie. And actually, out of all 3 volumes, I feel like this is one of the better ones. It's really deep, but also really funny as well. It's a good addition. No fart jokes. So honestly, that gives it a really good rep. But anyways, though, I got to keep on moving. And next up, we have our live musician, Jeffrey, with his live music.
Hi everybody, this is Jeffrey, your live musician, and I'm gonna be playing an original song about a fish named Jerry and a snake named Cora. you may be thinking, wait, what does that mean? Well, it's a crazy kind of song, so hope you like it. At a fish named Jerry, who was down on a ferry, and people said that it could fly, fly, fly. When I tried, it bubbled instead. It was all a lie, lie, lie. Jerry swam in the dam like he dipped in a swirl, and he jumped and he bumped. He even gave a fish tail bump. Come on, Jerry, whoop, whoop, whoop. You are so merry, whoop, whoop, whoop. You slid in with it, my dreams in the dust. When you went for a dip, and you did a flip, whoop, whoop, whoop. I had a snake named Cora. Mom lived in a bora with skin so smooth and shiny, and legs so teeny tiny. Go, go, go. When I tried, she slithered. No, no, no. Why you gotta be like that, Cora? I thought you could waka, 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 waka. Come on, Cora. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Why you gotta be so Bora? Whoop, whoop, whoop. You slithered and waited. My dreams into dust. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And now the song is a bust. Whoop, 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 whoop. I had a fish named Jerry, among the fish named Jerry, who was found on the ferry, and people said that it could fly, fly, fly. When it tried, it walked and bubbled instead. It was all a lie, lie, lie. Jerry swam in the dam like he dipped in a squirrel, and he jumped and he bumped. He even gave a fish tail bump. Come on, Jerry. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You are so merry. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You went for a dip, and then you did a flip. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I had a snake named Cora. Her mom lived in a bora with skin so smooth and shiny, and legs so teeny tiny. Go, go, go. When I tried, she slid. No, no, no. Why you gotta be like that, Cora? I thought you could waka, 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 waka. Come on, Cora. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Gotta be so Bora. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You slid and weird. My dreams in the dust. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And now the song is a bust. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Come on, Jerry. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Why you gotta be so merry? Whoop, whoop, whoop. You went for a dip, and you did a flip. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Come on, Cora. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Why you gotta be so Bora? Whoop, whoop, whoop. You slid and wetted my dreams into dust. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And now this song is a bust. Whoop, 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 whoop. Thank you, everybody. This is Jeffrey, your live musician, and I'll see you all next week for another jam. It's back to you, Aiden. Bye, everyone.
Hey.
What an awesome song from Jeffrey. Remember, guys, when you hear a song about a fish named Cora or a fish named Jerry or all of those beautiful, awesome animals like the snakes, you got to listen to this song because it's all about a fish named Jerry and all of his friends. Anyways, though, this has been another amazing episode of Youth Connect. I also want to say, guys, just so you guys know, thank you so much, Jeff. And I also want to share some important news. I almost forgot about this. Did you guys know? I know. It's pretty weird to be talking about this, but it's very important. Our Super Ability crew member, Roxanne Tull, will be showcasing her art at the Transaction Club Spring Craft Sale on May 27th to the 27th to the 28th from 11 to 4 p.m. So guys, if you ever have the time to check out some awesome artwork, I recommend going to the Transaction Club Spring Craft Fair or Sale, whatever fits your fancy. And then second one for myself, I obviously, oh my gosh, I'm doing a self-insert. What in the world? But obviously, if anybody has an event in our community and wants to share it, I'll always be there to share it. Next up, myself, Aiden Lee, I'm going to be hosting a special showcase of my Mother's Day art collection. Now, this one's a little bit more recent, which is going to be coming up, which is May the 14th, which is Sunday from 2:30 to 5 at the Harley Rosary Church in Burlington. So, guys, if you ever have the time to check it out as well, please check it out because you might be able to own an Aiden Lee piece, or obviously you get to get an art piece for your mother for Mother's Day. You'll find some cool things. But obviously, enough of the self-inserts and promotions. This has been the end of our episode of Youth Connect. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you liked watching it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And don't forget to click the notification bell.
Other than that, guys, we will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching. And, of course, thank you to my co-hosts. So thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Joshua. And, of course, thank you, Kevin. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Catch
Bye.
you later.
Bye.
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 Bye.